Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Bougiani Gymnasium in Proctor, Vermont, where it's high school basketball time coming up. You see the Poultney Blue Devil boys warming up on the court here. To our left as we look out, I'm going to turn the camera over here to our right. You see the home team, the Proctor Phantoms, and Proctor will be on this court tonight playing in this annual classic. And I want to take just a moment to introduce a special guest with us here on this PEGTV production here tonight. My name's Greg McCormick, and with me a guy that was in this gymnasium doing this many years ago, and he is back here visiting and agreed to come on here. Mark Garrow, welcome to our microphone in our production here at Proctor High School.
It's good to be back. It was 1979, so that would make it 46 years. I was here in this gym broadcasting as a brand new play-by-play guy, and I thought I would never catch up to the basketball. Somebody would be shooting, and I'd still be talking about the rebound that happened about 5 seconds before that, and I couldn't believe how fast the game was and just everything that was going on. But what a great experience. What a great feeling it is to be back home in the Rutland area, coming to Proctor High School. It's a lot of fun.
And that radio station you were working on just happened to be right here in Proctor on the West Proctor Road, right in Proctor, Vermont, a few miles away from where we sit right now.
WHWB AM and FM. And Greg, if it wasn't for your dad, I wouldn't have been in the broadcast business. I wouldn't have been in the process of right now wrapping up a career in NASCAR, where I've done play-by-play at the top level now for 43 years. Wrap that up. I've got a little bit to do here until the 31st of December. But your dad interviewed me after a boxing match a half a body ago. Not a half a lifetime, but a half a body. I was a 7-time boxing champion, 5 Vermont state championships, 2 New England championships, 1 in the Golden Gloves, 1 in the AAUs, and had a chance, fought all the way to the semifinals of the regional tournament in Boston way back when, trying to make the 76 Olympics. So your dad interviewed me after a boxing match, said, "You don't sound like a typical boxer." And I said, "Well, I've always been able to talk." And at the time, I was working at my parents' store, Garrow's Market, and I was also pumping gas at Howie Parker's Texaco there on the main drag in Rutland. And your dad said, "Well, why don't you, instead of pumping gas at 20 below, why don't you come out and try radio?" And at no point, and I was talking to Tom Haley, the writer for the Rutland Herald today, and I was talking to him at that point, there was no thought whatsoever of a broadcast career in radio, television, all that kind of deal. Hadn't even thought about it, wasn't even on my radar until your dad said, "Hey, why don't you come over to WHWB? I'm going to let you do a weather forecast and a couple of other little things to get you started and see how you like it." Little did I know that your dad was leading me down the path to a lifelong career. So I can never thank Frank McCormick enough for that.
And here you are, as we sit here. We were just talking about how quickly time passes. That was 76?
I think the first time I was on the air with WHW was 78, and then I started. Jack Healy had moved on, so I took over some of the sports jobs there in 79. And and again, full disclosure, I was also close personal friends with you and your brother Chris, and I don't know how many times I was at the house playing ping pong with you guys and different things like that. And, of course, Chris and I went to Castleton State College together as well. So this is just kind of cool all the way around that you and I get a chance to do this again.
And another name people will remember, and you did some broadcasting with him back in the day, is Rick Gecky. Rick had done sports locally on radio for on and off for many years, and Rick was one of your first partners, I believe.
Absolutely. Did a little bit with Jack Healy. Also, Mitch Braves. I remember doing the talk show at WHWB with, I believe his first name was George, and they called him Mitch Braves. George Mitch Braves, and he was quite a character. So, yeah, it is really cool. I remember seeing Dan Kearney here in Rutland has the Dan Kearney auto sales, different things like that. He's a big NASCAR guy. And when I came to WHWB, one of the first things I did was call up Bill Alsop, the IndyCar driver from Woodstock, and say, "Look, you're a big deal. You need to come down and come to our radio station." And Dan Kearney, big friends with Bill Alsop, and so we had a chance to meet each other a long time ago, and had a chance to talk to Dan today as well. So kind of going down memory lane on this trip here to Rutland.
All right, and we are looking at the basketball court at Proctor High School, Bougiani Gymnasium, legendary court. As we said, there's been just an unbelievable amount of basketball history on this court over the years. And Mark, it's going to be kind of fun to see two of our local teams out here tonight. We have the name of this tournament we mentioned to start off with, the Bob Abrahamson tip-off not kickoff, tip-off classic. And basically, this is kind of the official start of the season for a lot of teams. There's 4 teams in this tournament here tonight. We saw the earlier game. We wrote down the score on that one.
Yeah, that was Twinfield Cabot Trojans. They scored 78 points, beat Twin Valley, the Wildcats, 78-57. So they won that game handily. They'll be in the championship game, of course, tomorrow.
Okay, and their opponent, we'll find out here shortly as we get both of these teams still warming up here on the floor. This is our first time, my first time. It's your first time seeing these guys in years. I saw them last year as we finished up a good season on PEGTV, but this is our first look coming up this season.
Well, the first thing that jumps off the page for me with these two teams is the fact that it looks like Proctor is a veteran-led team, and Poultney may be reloading. You have 7 seniors, 4 juniors, 4 sophomores for the Phantoms of Proctor, and then you look at Poultney's roster, just 3 seniors, 2 juniors, 5 sophomores. So obviously Poultney reloading for this season.
All right, the starters of this team will be, both of these teams will be introduced here on the floor. Coming up, I'm going to take an opportunity. I like to mention everybody's name here. We're looking at Proctor here on camera, Mark. You got a better look at it there. If you want to, let me run down this Proctor.
Well, you have, again, you look at the seniors, Aaron Brock, number 0, number 1, Noah Johnson, he's a senior guard, Mason Brothers, Jason Seldrick, Ari Camp, Frank Ujier, Cameron Camp, Caden Dean, Braden Shahi, Isaiah Fernandez, Jordan Weiss, Griffin Wheezy, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Griffin Pomeroy, Sawyer Crossman, Camden Scooby Kimball, and Lucas Cole. And again, 7 seniors in that group. Jeremy Cole, of course, is the head coach.
All right, we are getting an introduction happening here on the floor. I'm going to do real quickly here before they introduce the players here on the floor. We'll run down Poultney's roster. Eric Kendall, number 4. Actually, I think they're doing the starters right now. So we're going to hold off here. We'll let them do that on the court. We'll watch and listen here. Okay, we'll get to that in just a second. Eric Kendall, number 4 for Poultney. Number 10, Mikey Selleck. Number 12 is Talon Chalmers. 20, Hayden Rice. 22 is Noah Gillette. 24, Amian Saviano. Number 30 is Arian Lupian. Number 32, Jack Alinsky. 34, Ryan Patterson. 40, Liam Heyer. 54, Gabe Casey. Head coach, Justin Heyer. All right, we are getting Poultney introduced here on the floor first. Number 4, Eric Kendall coming out on the court. Okay, and hopefully you can hear this. If not, we'll just repeat it, right? Number 10 is
Mike Selleck.
All right, so you see out there on the floor. All right, coming out now. Number 12, Talon Chalmers.
He's a junior.
Number 22, just introduced, is one of our starters here on the floor.
Noah Gillette, also a junior for the Poultney Blue Devils.
And rounding out the starting 5 will be Gabe Casey, big number 54 here for Poultney. So there you go, Justin Heyer again, the head coach. And now the folks getting ready for the introductions here of the Proctor Phantoms on the floor. I'll let you do that, Mark.
Number 0, Adrian Brock, a forward. He's a senior. Also a starter, Mason Brothers. He's a guard and a junior. Number 11, Caden Dean, forward, a senior. Braden Shahi, is that it? Is that how I say that? Shahi.
Yep.
He's a forward. He's a sophomore. And then number 13, Isaiah Fernandez at guard and a senior. So you take a look at this lineup, 3 seniors, a junior, and a sophomore.
All right, the head coach is Mr. Jeremy Cole for the Proctor Phantoms, and we are going to pause and stand and have our national anthem coming up here at Bougiani Gymnasium at Proctor High School. All right, a very nice rendition of our national anthem we just had on our court there, and your two officials out here right in front of our camera, ready to go to officiate your game here tonight. And
That's never an easy job, by the way. I'm a volleyball official. You're going to make at least 50% of the gym mad no matter what you do. So that's never an easy job.
I read that about you, that Tom Haley actually did a story how you transitioned into that. So a lot of fun, though, too.
10 months out of the year now, I'm doing USA volleyball, boys varsity, girls middle school. So I'm probably doing better. I'm refereeing better than probably 110, 120 matches a year.
All right, crowd-wise, Mark, we got a good crowd here.
Man, this is fun. It's packed. It's packed for a little gym like this, for sure.
There's a choice seat up there on the stage, the Phantom stage at Proctor High School.
Are those the suite seats out there? You got to pay extra money for that?
All right, getting our jump here at center court. We have number 11. That's Caden Dean jumping it up, controlling it off the tip there for Proctor first. And we are underway. This game underway. Proctor hosting Poultney here in their tournament, the Bob Abrahamson Classic.
Poultney opened up in a 2-3 defense, made it pay off. They get a quick steal.
We got a shot put up there by Eric Kendall on the steal, on the transition down the floor. Very quick defense down the floor by Proctor. There's another steal. Kendall going right back to the hoop on the steal. He's had a couple of layups there, just not going to drop in either one of them.
So 2 steals and 2 missed shots. So that's a little bit of good, a little bit of not so good here early on.
Well, as we said, the very, very beginnings of the season for these teams. They've been practicing for a few weeks in the gym. There's another turnover.
Third turnover. 3 trips down the court for Proctor, already 3 turnovers. But can Poultney turn it into points? This time they can, raining down a 3-pointer. Noah Gillette at center, a junior for the Blue Devils.
All right, so that's our first basket of the ball game. As you just said, Mark, that's going to be a 3. 3-0 is our score. Poultney up on top, striking here first. And here's a nice open shot, Proctor side of things. Braden Sheehy going to miss that one over the top of the rim.
Eric Kendall from long range, in and out. The ball rims out. But their big center is there, Cabe Casey. The senior puts it back up. They lead 5-0 with 6:28 to go here in the first quarter.
All right, so Poultney coming out here, surprising Proctor here right off the opening seconds. There's another turnover by Proctor. Eric Kendall gets it out front. Going to turn it over, got tipped away. That'll be a loose ball picked up by the Proctor Phantoms. Isaiah Fernandez, number 13, knocking that one loose.
Good ball movement by Proctor right now, but cannot make it pay off. Missed shot from the corner. That was Aaron Brock. And a 3-pointer.
Number 13, that's Isaiah Fernandez. Ball goes back to the top of the circle pretty much, and Fernandez is going to light it up from there.
That's going to be a shooting foul.
Yeah, Fernandez shot, by the way, was a 3-pointer. They got 3 up on the board, so it's 5-3 our score right now.
Sir, first foul for Proctor, Caden Dean. Again, 2 shots, and going to the line for the Blue Devils will be Talon Chalmers.
And what can we tell you about Talon? Talon's listed as a guard, junior.
A lefty. That was a bit of a brick. Doesn't go. They lead 5-3, though. And again, this is just the first foul of the game here in the first quarter. Off the rim, missed both free throws. Score remains 5-3 with 5:43 to go in the first quarter.
All right, so just a few minutes gone in this contest. There's a baseline drive. Let's see if we can turn that into some points. Good pass over to the left corner.
Nothing but air back there. That's a second air ball for Aaron Brock from the corner. One from the right side, one from the left. We got to travel on the Blue Devils.
All right, so that will be a turnover, and there will be no full court pressure right here. Looks like it's going to be Proctor inbounding here from the sideline. We got 5:26 left to go first quarter. Greg McCormick along with Mark Garrow here at Proctor High School. Boys basketball action. Game number 2 here, the first night of the Bob Abrahamson tournament. There's a shot.
Again, a ball rims in and out. That was Mason Brothers. And again, it looks like number 13, Isaiah Fernandez, got that 3-pointer. So Proctor down 5-0. Quickly now back to the lead, 6-5 with 5 minutes to go here in the first quarter.
All right,
so number 13 with the foul. That is going to be the second foul on Proctor.
That's the first personal foul on Fernandez, who's got a couple of baskets here tonight. Full court pressure coming from Proctor, as we see. We'll see how the Poultney boys handle that. The ball knocked out of bounds there, as you see over on the far sideline.
So it's interesting to start the game. Poultney 2-3 on defense. Proctor has gone man-to-man, and they beat the press. That is going to be Talon Chalmers, the junior guard from Poultney. He gets 2. They're back in the lead, 7-6.
All right, Poultney aggressive defense at their end of the floor. Proctor with the ball, top of the circle, tipped loose. Fernandez coming up with that loose ball. Proctor retains possession.
This is a very aggressive 2-3 defense for Poultney. In and out. That thing rimmed out.
There's Braden
Sheehy.
And then right there again, we've seen him do that, cleaning things up again. Fernandez on the putback, and we'll get the bucket, make it 9-7. Proctor up on top.
So 3 3-pointers for the Phantoms have given them the lead.
Eric Kendall at the Poultney end of the floor got off a shot, misses it. We have Proctor with the rebound and the possession. Here's Kendall with the steal, picks off that pass again.
3 steals and 3 missed shots for Kendall. If he can get the ball to go down, he is the aggressor for Poultney. Certainly the man who is the straw that stirs the drink. He is really what makes that defense work, but he cannot get a shot to go down.
And there's Fernandez at the other end of the floor, hits the bucket. Or misses the bucket, I should say. Kendall with the rebound. Here's a shot left side from Poultney. This will miss. And Fernandez right there for the rebound. This quarter going by quick, Mark.
It sure is. These teams both up and down the court. Only 2 fouls have been called so far. And again, Brock with the miss, but the putback. A 7-footer from Caden Dean. That puts Proctor up 11-7. Timeout with 3:14 to go. 4-point lead for the Phantoms over the Blue Devils.
All right, kind of interesting way we start that with Poultney coming right out of the chutes there, putting some points up on the board. Proctor in the second half of that first quarter here, which we are looking at right now, really putting on a little bit of a run here.
They sure are. And again, remember, Poultney broke out to a 5-0 lead. They lost the lead where Proctor took over 7-6. They jumped back into the lead. And then Proctor, again, with a couple of buckets, have, again, eased away just a bit. Only 4 points the gap here early on in the game. I mean, we're just about halfway through now, a little bit past halfway of the first quarter.
All right, head coach Jeremy Cole there with his guys at the sideline. Proctor, we are looking at, and a pretty much full house here on hand. Few seats left, but we have a great crowd here on hand at Proctor, which the gymnasium looks like it got a little bit of a makeover, I believe.
It is really looking nice. It's really, and again, blows my mind. It was back here in 1979 during the game. Oh, that was close to 5 seconds. Bad pass. Kendall again, little miscommunication. It looked like number 10, Mike Selleck was. He anticipated Selleck going back to the left. Selleck went right, and the ball went out of bounds.
All right, Mason Brothers going to inbound it for Proctor. Nice pass right there into the middle.
That's Braden Sheehy with the bucket. Great pass. Found the open man. Little 3-footer.
All right, Poultney down working against that, looks like a man or zone defense here. And Kendall shot. Now he warms up.
So he misses the layups, but he hits the 3-pointer. So that's an interesting. But he has been a devil for the Blue Devils on defense. Very aggressive. He's been the leader of their defense here early on for sure.
Well, he's warmed up here now apparently with that last bucket he just hit, and our score 13-10.
Another steal. Another steal. Will he get this time? He gets the layup. So 5 quick points for Eric Kendall. And he's got the Blue Devils back within 1 point.
Kendall's had a number of steals and early layup attempts, and now has hit a couple in a row here in the last 30 seconds. Proctor Phantoms with it at their end of the floor. Fernandez from one side of the court over to the other. There's a baseline drive. Nice move, shot attempt. Aaron Brock misses. Brock his own rebound. Back up on the second attempt, he got fouled.
And that foul is going to be on number 22, Noah Gillette. That is his first. It is a shooting foul. So a couple of shots are coming up for Aaron Brock.
All right, so Aaron will be on the line, Mark, with 2:02 left to go in the first quarter. As we said, quick quarter and very close game here so far.
Aaron Brock, very difficult. Missed some long shots from the corner, misses that first free throw. And that's some of the early season rust. You know, those are some of the things players go through. You can make those shots in practice all day long, but when you're under the gun in game conditions, a little bit different deal. He misses the second shot as well.
All right, Caden Dean got the rebound. Right side, gets it over to Braden Sheehy for the shot, misses. Now a Blue Devil rebound. Here comes
Kendall again has the ball. Again, good drive by Kendall. He's up, and it is in. 7 points. So after missing 3 or 4 shots, Kendall is lighting up things now at Proctor, has given the Blue Devils the lead at 14-13.
Just saw that lane and said, I'll take that. Drove right to the basket. Nice looking shot. Now we got a whistle here at the other end of the floor, and we'll.
It looks like that's going to be number 20. Yep, number 20 is going to be get the foul, Hayden Rice, the freshman guard for Poultney.
All right, good call on that one, Mark, and it'll be inbounded. A non-shooting foul. Mason Brothers will be inbounding it here from the baseline. So Mason, get ready to put the ball in play.
Fernandez looking for some space to pass, has it back to Brock. Brock now over to Mason Brothers. Brothers back to Fernandez. Nice pass, and a quick jumper does not get to the rim. Braden Sheehy again does not get the shot to go down. And it's going to be Poultney ball. 1 minute 13 to go. They've got a 1-point lead. Mike Selleck back in the game, as well as Gabe Casey for Poultney. And inbounding the ball is going to be Noah Gillette.
All right, here come the Blue Devils over the half-court line and being pressured.
Mike Selleck with the shot there. Long rebound.
Caden Dean on the board. And there will be a foul. And inside it goes to Braden Sheehy. Gets up that little 5-foot shot right side of the basket, and there will be a foul called there.
So Kendall is going to be called for the foul, and it's going to be 2 shots, as you mentioned, for Braden Sheehy. And if he can catch the first free throw and put it down, that, of course, will tie our score up with less than a minute now here in the first quarter. So Proctor has had a hard time right now at the foul line. They've missed 3 straight free throws.
Of course, we talked about this being the first game. You get those jitters, you got to get
exactly.
all these cobwebs.
There's rust you got to knock off there. He does get the second shot. That ties the score, 14-14.
All right, ball back to the Poultney end of the floor. Talon Chalmers, number 12, working with it now, top of the circle. Now Kendall rotates out on top. They get it to Kendall. He'll challenge, drives to the free throw line, and let's see what the call is here. We get a whistle and maybe a foul.
So it's going to be 13. That's Fernandez for Proctor with the foul. And the only question is they are going to call it a shooting foul. Sometimes they can get that foul as they're heading to the basket before the shot, but they're going to call it a 2-shot foul. Kendall on the line has just scored 7 quick points, make it 8. So Kendall now has scored 8 of the 15 points now for the Blue Devils after missing 3 layups early on after stealing the ball 3 times.
And we'll get you unofficial scoring total. We'll get the official stuff at halftime. Tie 15-14. Poultney up on top. Second free throw a miss. And there's the rebound by Proctor. Here come the Phantoms down the floor. They'll work it to the right side, inside down low baseline shot up, and there'll be another foul here. Caden Dean going down hard after that last missed shot.
I think that was mostly his momentum. The contact underneath the basket didn't look that big to me. So that's going to be the foul is going to be on Gabe Casey, the senior center for Poultney.
All right, so this will be a shooting foul. Where are we at?
So going to the line, it's going to be Caden Dean.
All right, so he was in the act of shooting, and will be on the line to shoot 2.
And so Dean will tie the score again. It is now 15-15 with 26 seconds left. Dean misses the second shot, but a great rebound by Braden Sheehy. Back to Fernandez, to Brock. Here's a drive. Fernandez, long three. He's got it again. Quickly, Proctor up 18-15.
Wow.
Under 10 seconds left now in this first quarter. Poultney trying to get a last shot off over to Kendall. Kendall. Man, I don't know what Kendall was thinking. Coach was yelling for him to shoot. He wasn't paying attention to the clock. So Poultney does not get a final shot off in the first quarter, and they trail 18-15.
All right. Well, that was a pretty good little quarter we saw right there.
A lot going on. Very aggressive defense, some missed shots, some really good long-range shooting from both teams eventually.
This one a little bit closer. The earlier game was pretty much a little bit more one-sided, as we mentioned with that final score.
Yeah, Twinfield Cabot Trojans 78, the Twin Valley Wildcats 57. So the Trojans certainly dominated that game and will be very tough. Whichever one of these teams win this game and play in the championship tomorrow, they're going to have their hands full with that team. They're tall and they're quick.
All right, a great crowd here on hand at the newly painted, it looks like, Proctor Gymnasium. Mark Garrow along with Greg McCormick here tonight at Proctor High School, kind of back where we started many years ago.
It's crazy. It doesn't seem that long ago. All of a sudden, 46 years kind of wash away pretty quick.
And nothing's changed as far as the excitement of a local high school basketball gymnasium. Still got the same feel you had many years ago.
Look, man, this is Americana. This is what America's all about. Small gymnasiums, high school basketball, whether it's girls basketball, boys basketball, it really doesn't get better than this.
Now, you spent a lot of years living down south or whatever.
Yes,
and you see a lot of this stuff down there, too.
Yeah, sure do.
All right, second quarter underway. This is Eric Kendall for Poultney inbounding it. Kendall going to pull up for a jumper, and that one's going to be all net.
So unofficially, I've got him 9 points out of the 17 now for Poultney. That's again unofficial. And for a guy who missed 3 layups, man, he is lit. He is warmed up and ready to roll. He hasn't missed his last 3 shots. He also had a couple of foul shots as well.
Well, you got some early season jitters, as we talked about, a little bit of rust. These two teams, of course, local teams, rivals, so that adds a little to the excitement here as well. We have a whistle and a foul here.
It's interesting. Could have called that on 2 different players. We'll see which one he's going to give it to. Number 10 is going to get the foul. That is Mike Selleck. Gabe Casey was right there as well. And so the big center has still just 1 foul. So that's kind of good news for Poultney. Did not want to have 2 fouls on their big man early in the second quarter.
Okay, this is number 25, Lucas Cole on the line. He's listed as a forward for Proctor. He's a junior, shooting 2 foul shots.
Yeah, he just came into the game for Braden Sheehy.
All right, so that last one going out.
They're going like, what happened? He goes, I don't know, I missed. So Lucas with a big miss on that foul shot, so he'll go back on defense. And he is on Eric Kendall. Good press. Full court press from Proctor. I think got away with the travel there.
There's a drive and a shot. Nice one by Ari Camp. Misses the shot, though, and a rebound here by Poultney. Blue Devils quickly down the floor. They get it left side. Wide open shot over there, taken way out
Mike
there.
Selleck took that shot, and then Gabe Casey could not get the rebound. It was an air ball. Casey tried to reach out and snag it. Went off his hand and out of bounds. Lucas Cole puts it back in for Proctor.
All right, ball being brought down the floor. Poultney back, waiting on defense. No full court pressure. Second quarter action. Bougiani Gymnasium at Proctor High School.
Fernandez again, long 3, doesn't get it to go down. Proctor the rebound. A put up by Mason Brothers. It doesn't go down.
Proctor rebound, so multiple opportunities here.
Fernandez again. This one looks good. No, off the front of the rim, but he gets his own rebound. Passes over to Lucas Cole. Cole, though, the shot gets blocked by Noah Gillette. Big block right there. Looked like Cole had an easy 2-pointer, and Gillette came out of nowhere to slap it out of bounds.
Thought we might have a foul on that play, but no call there. There's the ball inbounded shot. Fernandez left corner, no good. Rebound, Poultney down the floor. Nice outlet pass. Kendall, layup shot misses.
He's got to shoot a three-pointer because he can't make the layups. He does a great job with the long shots, but he's only hit one of like 5 layups so far. I think he's going in so fast. He's just basically not taking quite enough time to kind of line up the layup because he is super fast, super quick, and he really makes their defense go.
All right, Proctor got possession. They get it inside. Nice job working it inside. Good
Ari Camp, he's now in the game. His first shot, it's good. It gives Proctor the lead, 20-17. Proctor with the foul. And that is going to be White, number 10. That's Cameron Camp with his first foul. He's in the game now for the Proctor Phantoms.
All right, that'll bring us a couple minutes into the second quarter. Still very close game. 20-17 is our score. High school basketball. Actually, this is our first basketball game of the season for PEGTV, for me anyway.
Kendall trying to drive, and again, great defense by Cameron Camp. He blocks the driving lane, quick shot. It's going to be a 2-shot foul, and that foul is going to be on Sawyer Crosman for Proctor.
Talon Chalmers, number 12, is the guy that took the shot, shooter.
So right now, the Blue Devils are down 20-17. And you look at all the layups they've missed. They've missed probably 4 or 5 layups. They could easily be up in this game 5 to 7 points. Instead, they're behind by 3. That shot doesn't go, and they remain 20-17, the deficit here with 5:39 to go in the second quarter.
All right, Talon Chalmers with a second free throw. Lefty. The miss. Nice job on the rebound. Let's see. Going to kick the ball outside. That was Hayden Rice on the rebound.
Mike Selleck to Eric Kendall off the glass, another three-pointer. I think that's 12 points now out of the 20 for the Blue Devils. And again, I continue to be amazed he misses layups and drains the three-pointers. He's got another foul. Kendall again. Will he get this layup? This time he gets it, and he is going to give the lead to the Poultney Blue Devils, 22-20 with 5 to go in the second quarter.
Yeah, Eric Kendall's made a living on those steals out on top here from Proctor. Here come the Phantoms driving to the basket, block on the shot attempt. Sawyer Crossman put that one up, partially blocked. Now everybody battling.
That's a little bit of a tie up there. Got to be a little bit of a scramble. And luckily nobody comes away injured. And the arrow is pointing the way for Poultney. They'll take over possession.
All right, we got a little bit of a delay here for a moment.
So Caden Dean back in the game for Proctor. Also back in the game is Braden Sheehy. And he'll join Cameron Camp in this lineup. Also still on the court for Proctor, Ari Camp. And it is going to be Sawyer Crosman. That's the 5 out there now on the court for the Phantoms.
All right, we get ready to have the ball inbounded here by Proctor to the free throw line. Let's see, room for a shot. We'll get one off. Little fadeaway jumper taken.
Caden Dean doesn't get it to go down. Now the shot is up by Braden Sheehy. That doesn't go down. This time the rebound for Poultney. Kendall again will lead the Blue Devils down the court. He'll try to drive. He is cut off. The ball bounces around just a bit, and Kendall gets it back. He tries to drive to the basket, and it's good. And now a 4-point advantage for the Blue Devils with 4:20 to go in the second quarter.
That was a nice job. Nice ball handling to weave his way in there.
He is definitely the man that makes this team go for Poultney. He is aggressive on defense, drives the ball hard on the offense. If he could get those open layups to go down, right now he might have 20 points in this first half if he hadn't missed those layups. But he's hit some long shots, and he certainly is the guy that makes it go for Poultney. No doubt about it. He's the engine for Poultney.
And you're looking at the Poultney Blue Devils there at the sideline under head coach Justin Heyer, taking that time as we have a 24-20 score. It's the home team, Proctor, down by 4.
Jeremy Cole very animated now for Proctor, talking to his team. He's looking for more energy. He's looking for more defense at this particular point. On offense, they seem to be getting shots. They're getting offensive rebounds. But when you're letting a guy like Eric Kendall just keep driving his way to the basket, you're going to want to tighten up your defense just a bit. And I think that's what Coach Cole is trying to get across right now.
All right, and there is the huddle on the Proctor side of things, breaking up. And both teams back out on the floor here. We're at Bougiani Gymnasium, Proctor High School, Proctor, Vermont, on this December 12th, 2025. Greg McCormick along with Mark Garrow. Glad to have you with us here, Mark.
I can't believe I'm getting to do this, man.
Hope you're having fun.
I'm having a blast.
All right, and there's a shot from the Proctor side of things. Braden Sheehy misses, rebound. Back up Eric Camp on the putback.
Great rebound. Immediately went right back up. Here's Kendall again trying to drive to the basket. A left hand over hook. Doesn't get it to go. Here's Camp again on the drive by himself all the way down the court. He gets his 4th point here in the last 15 seconds.
All right, we're under 4 minutes left to go here in the first half.
And we're tied up again at 24-24. The Phantoms and the Blue Devils from Bougiani Gym here in Proctor.
All right, Blue Devil shot deep, right corner, left-handed shot off the rim. Good attempt, a good look at it. Talon Chalmers on that miss. We got a rebound.
And then a traveling call on Noah Gillette. Got a little bit started on that drive early. So coming out now, Mike Selleck for Poultney. Back into the game, their senior center, Gabe Casey. He'll man the center of that 2-3 defense that's been very effective in the first half for the Poultney Blue Devils.
All right, ball in Proctor hands. They work it around the perimeter over on that left sideline. Get a shot off. Cameron Camp going to miss that shot. We get a rebound. And
Caden Dean is going to be called for the foul. He just used his right arm and just swept the Poultney player away. That wasn't a block out. That was a sweep out, and he gets called for it.
All right, so the ball will be inbound. No pressure here. Well, half-court pressure. Proctor will set up at the half-court. Poultney will bring it over the half-court line as we work our way down to the 3-minute mark left to go.
Eric Kendall on the drive. He'll get the foul. He'll go back to the line with the score tied 24-24. Kendall's had an outstanding first half. Yes, he's missed some easy layups, but he has made some long shots, has made some great drives to the basket. He is the main cog on this Poultney team. Whatever happens to this team during the 25-26 season, it's going to rise and fall on the game of Eric Kendall.
All right, we had a foul up on the board. They put it up. That's number 10. Cameron Camp will get the second personal foul here for Proctor. And as you can see right there,
Kendall gets the first shot. And again, if he had missed those layups, he'd be over 20 points here in the first half.
And by the way, for our viewers, we'll get that here at halftime for you and get a check on that, get the official book total.
So now Poultney back in the lead, 26-24. 3 minutes left here in the first half from Proctor. Kendall, another steal. That's got to be his 5th steal. And again, there's a turnover. Great block and pass. Sawyer Crosman jumped into the passing lane, grabbed the steal, sent the Phantoms on a fast break. They get the foul, and they're going back to the line.
All right, so up and down the court, and again, great anticipation on those steals by Eric Kendall. Just a good read.
That was Noah Gillette, by the way, with the foul. That's his second foul.
All right, this is Caden Dean, number 11, on the line to shoot for Proctor.
Gets the first one. Now the Phantoms are down by 1.
And each team with some substitutions coming in. We'll try to mention some of those names as we go along. Mason Brothers back into the lineup now for Proctor. One of the players back in with 2:47 mark left to go here in the first half. Good first half of basketball.
Very entertaining half. Dean gets the second shot, and we've got a tie score, 26-26. 2:45 left in the first half. From the Bougiani Gymnasium here in Proctor, home of the Phantoms, Kendall with a long 3. It clanks off the rim, out of bounds, and Proctor will have the ball. So when you shoot it that long and you miss, it's going to be a long rebound. It's going to shoot up high, and that one certainly went so far up in the air it went out of bounds. So here's Proctor back on the offense as Mason Brothers brings the ball up. Camp now, pass the ball, back to Camp. He takes the jump shot, doesn't get it. Gabe Casey rather, will get the rebound. Kendall on the fast break, ball off the rim, doesn't go.
Nice rebounding effort there. Caden Dean, number 11, clearing the boards.
So Mason Brothers now acting as the point guard for Proctor. Long three-pointer. It goes around the rim and in. Cameron Camp. And that gives Proctor the lead, 29-26.
Under 2 minutes left to go here in this first half. This is Kendall again with it here for the Blue Devils, their main ball handler. We got a tie-up, and that will be a steal. Cameron Camp reaching in there, and no foul on the play. Steals it, breakaway layup.
The whole length of the court. I mean, what a great job by Cameron Camp. You make the steal, you go get the bucket on the other end.
Gives his team a 31-26 advantage. Proctor up on top. Shot top of the circle put up by Chalmers. Misses, and now we have a timeout?
Full timeout for Poultney. You know, Greg, I was going to talk about it as Proctor was at the line. When you look at these two teams, Proctor has a much bigger bench. And will that come into play? I think it's coming into play here late in this second quarter. They've been able to throw more bodies out there on the court. Proctor has. And it looks like a fairly small team for Poultney. So, again, I think that's starting to come into play a little bit right now. All of a sudden, they might be slowing down just a bit. While, again, the continuing constant wave of players in and out for Proctor is starting to pay off right now. Energy-wise, they've got just a little bit more than the Blue Devils here at the end of the second quarter.
All right, you're looking at the Proctor team here on the sideline as we have a timeout, and we'll just swing this camera around a little bit, give you an overall feel of this Bougiani Gymnasium. This is the crowd here on the side we are sitting on, the scorers table side. And lots of folks are here on hand to take this one in tonight. A lot of people have been waiting for a long time for the basketball season to start. We had a great fall sports season, soccer, football, some great teams here locally, and a lot of folks anticipating basketball coming up. And you got usually a 2-week break and then a 2-week practice period, and here we are. We're ready to go.
Yeah, again, this is so cool to get the season started off with a very entertaining game, very high energy. Both teams bringing a lot of force to their defense and trying to get out on fast breaks. The shooting, little bit rusty, both from the foul line and, of course, from the three-point line right now. But, again, to be expected, first game of the year.
Going to be a lot of fun to watch this Division IV this year. You've seen a lot of these teams many years ago or over the years. West Rutland is another one of our Division IV teams.
Right.
Always a nice program there. So they're all playing each other. Mount St. Joseph is, I believe, Division IV this year.
The Mounties, man. Going to Rutland, they were our blood enemies, man. If you were a Red Raider, you did not like the Mounties.
Talon Chalmers took a shot, misses, and at the other end of the floor, we get Sawyer Crosman with a shot. He'll miss. And a fight for that rebound, a tie-up. What do we get, a jump ball?
I think there's going to be a foul. There's going to be a foul on number 13, Fernandez. And so that is going to be the third foul for Fernandez. And so they're going to try to get him out of the ball game, I am sure. And again, with 5 fouls on Proctor, that means Gabe Casey, their senior center for Poultney, will go to the line for 2 shots.
And the clock is stopped at exactly 1 minute showing here left to go here in this first. That's been a quick half.
It sure has. And Gabe Casey will get the first shot. It wasn't pretty, but it was effective. And so they got Fernandez out of the game, and coming in for Proctor is going to bring Braden Sheehy back into their lineup. And so the second shot by Casey does not go in. Score 31-27, 55 seconds to go in the second quarter. Oh, that's like 5 seconds in there. I don't know how they did not call 3 seconds there. Yeah, now they make the call. Late call, but that was a great call. In the lane, Braden Sheehy didn't know what to do. He made several pivots, and that was well into 5 seconds. So that was certainly a great call by the ref. That was certainly a 3-second violation.
Well, there's the referee coming out of you here.
Kendall with a bomb. That was from 40 feet. Does not go in. And now he'll try to drive to the basket. Does not get it. Casey gets the ball slapped out of his hands. Here's Camp trying to go the whole way down the court. That foul is going to be called, though, before he gets to the layup. And I believe it's going to be on number 12 for Poultney. Blue 10. They're going to make that call on Mike Selleck. Mikey Selleck, I'm sorry. So that'll be his second foul, and they're going to want to get him out of the game to protect him from that third foul. And that's only their third team foul in this quarter to Proctor's 5.
All right, it'll bring us to the 27-second mark left to go in the half here. Whoa, way out there. Sawyer Crosman going to light one up from three-point range.
7-point lead for Proctor. Biggest lead they've had here in the first half after starting the game trailing 5-0. Now they lead by 7.
Colin Chalmers way out on top. Three-point attempt misses. Rebound Proctor. Let's see. Proctor breakaway down. Couple of
Dean
shots.
puts up a shot, does not go. And that shot well after the buzzer. And so the score at the end of the first half, the Proctor Phantoms lead the Blue Devils of Poultney 34-27.
All right, we'll see if we can get you some scoring stats here. We're going to take a minute or so to do that. Again, Greg McCormick along with Mark Garrow. Glad to have Mark with us here on this PEGTV production tonight at Bougiani Gymnasium in Proctor, Vermont for the Bob Abrahamson Tip-Off Classic. Okay, halftime. It is just a few seconds away from the start of our second half. We did grab some of that scoring. Mark Garrow has some of that for us. Mark?
Eric Kendall led the Blue Devils. 19 of the 27 points scored in the opening half by Eric Kendall. Had 3 threes, 7 twos, 2 foul shots. Then Talon Chalmers had 2 points. Noah Gillette 3. Gabe Casey with 3. For the Proctor Phantoms, Isaiah Fernandez hit 4 3-pointers. He led the scoring for them with 12. Then 6 points for Ari Camp, 5 for Cameron Camp and Caden Dean, 3 for Braden Sheehy, and Sawyer Crossman with 3. A little more balanced scoring for the Phantoms as opposed to Poultney. Eric Kendall, again, he's the man that going to make it happen for the Blue Devils, both offense and defense. He has certainly been very aggressive in the first half. That energy level, though, I hope he's in great shape because, I mean, that man has been running the court pretty hard all the first half, and now we have to do it again. And Blue Devils will have the ball coming out here first time here in the second half.
All right, we're just about ready to see that here as the official gives the basketball to the Poultney team. They inbound it. This is Eric Kendall with it now, top of the circle. We're underway. Second half action, Bougiani Gymnasium. All part of the Bob Abrahamson.
Long three-pointer by Chalmers does not go. Rebound by Proctor. Quickly back up the court to Ari Camp. Camp, turnaround by Dean. Does not go, or rather Cameron Camp does not go. Poultney quickly down the court. Ball is stolen by Ari Camp.
Wow, 2 players colliding right there. They get up, both of them hit the floor, both get up, shake hands immediately. There'll be a foul on the play. So the shooter for Proctor that made that.
So the shot is good. That gives Proctor now 36 points. And now at the line, you have Ari Camp trying to make it a 3-point play for Proctor. A quick start to the second half if this happens for the Phantoms. And indeed, it goes down 9 points now.
That last foul will be on Talon Chalmers for Poultney. First foul of the second half. There's a drive by Kendall right to the basket, going strong to the hoop. He likes that lane to the basket. He was fouled on that shot attempt, so we'll have a Proctor foul.
That's Braden Sheehy with the foul, and that's going to be his first. Kendall at the line. Again, 19 points in the first half for Eric Kendall.
Well, we've seen his inside game and his outside game, and I haven't seen a whole lot of them at the free throw line, but he's got that one down right there as he hits that nice first free throw.
Again, he started the game with 3 steals and then 3 missed layup, and again has turned around to be the leading scorer right now. Now has, as he makes the second shot, that's going to give him 22 points so far. Long three-pointer by Braden Sheehy. Doesn't go.
Rebound.
Putback is going to be good. Braden Sheehy. Yes. So he gets his own rebound, gets another 2 points.
Actually, that was Dean that got the rebound, fed it right back to Sheehy for that second shot attempt. Turnover by Poultney. And here we go. Open lane to the basket, right to the hoop. Braden Sheehy
again. He's now has 7 points.
All right, the half-court pressure coming from Proctor to meet the ball as it gets over the half-court line. We get a quick whistle. It'll be a foul here.
And that is going to be on Mason Brothers. And on that press, Brothers Coach Cole is trying to tell him, don't move. Just get over there, block the sidelines, and Kendall will have no way to go by. Let the sidelines be a defender. And instead, he moved his body just a bit. That picked up the foul against Kendall. Kendall, step back, 3, off the rim, no good. And a rebound to Braden Sheehy.
Is that a jump ball or a foul?
They're going to call a jump ball, and it's going to be Proctor basketball.
All right, Poultney's saving energy here. They don't use the full court pressure. You said better set of numbers, bodies on the Proctor side.
I just think the depth is really going to come to play here later in this game. Yeah, I really do. It showed up in the back half of the second quarter, and it's going to show up again. Proctor just has more bodies to throw at it than Poultney. Long three-pointer is good by Caden Camp. That gives him 8 points on the game. And Mason Brothers with the steal. He makes the pass over to Camp. Camp can't get it. He tries to go back up. Ari Camp is going to be fouled. He's going to the line for 2 shots.
All right, we have obviously 2 Camps here on the Proctor team. Cameron and there's Ari, number 4, at the free throw line.
Camp to Camp. So he misses that foul shot. Earlier in this second half, a layup, fouled, made the shot. So he's got 3 points here in the second half. And total on the game is going to have 9. Camp, second shot, doesn't go. But a great rebound by Braden Sheehy. He's got 2 more. 6 in this half, 9 for the game.
Wow.
Long three-pointer. Mikey Selleck for Poultney. That is certainly going to help out, but the score 46-32 as Proctor has been able to step on the gas and pull away just a bit. Again, we're early in the third quarter from Bougiani Gym here in Proctor, Vermont.
But definitely a good early going here in the third quarter here for Proctor. All right.
Kendall tips the ball away.
Beautifully done.
And he gets the ball back in a layup. And that is 23 points now for Eric Kendall of the Blue Devils.
All right, Poultney in that zone defense. Proctor spreading things out here, trying to find a seam in there, looking for some shooting room, and they'll take that one from the free throw line.
Good rebound by Camp.
Mason Brothers on the shot.
Passes it back out to Sheehy. Sheehy with the shot. Does not go down, but he gets the foul. So it's going to be on the big man for Poultney, Gade Casey. Casey, his 3rd foul, and that would be a big deal because he's the big body for Poultney for defense and rebounding. And it would certainly be tough if they had to put him on the bench, try to protect him here with 3 fouls in the third quarter.
All right, one of the younger guys on the Proctor team, Braden Sheehy, just a sophomore here, is what he is listed as, having a nice night.
So Sheehy right now, that is his 7th point, his 10th on the night, his 7th here in the third quarter. So he's begun to light it up, and they're pulling away 47-34. He gets the second shot to go. 8 points in the third quarter for Braden Sheehy, 11 on the game. Quick breakaway, and here going up for the layup is going to be Ari Camp. He'll get another 2. The score 50-34. Kendall, long 3, nothing but air. And again, that's very telling, I think, Greg, in the fact that when your legs start to go, and Kendall has been full speed throughout this game, offense and defense, and the coach is going to give him a bit of a breather. You can tell he's hurting a little bit. I mean, he has played a monster game to this point, both on offense and defense, and that'll take a lot out of you. And again, this is game 1. You're not in the top physical shape you'll be later on in the season.
All right, Proctor works it inside.
Sheehy again. 2 more for him. That's 10 in the third quarter for Sheehy. 13 on the game. He now leads the scoring for the Phantoms.
Blue Devils with it, working top
And remember,
of the circle.
Sheehy's only a sophomore. So
The ball knocked loose there for Mona. Poultney recovers.
Mikey Selleck with a long three off the rim, no good. Camp with the rebound. So Coach Cole for Proctor's wanting his team to push the ball up the court. And again, Poultney appears to be slowing down just a bit as Proctor now has hit high gear and begin to pull away, 52-34, 3:30 left here in the third quarter.
All right, Blue Devils coming over the half-court line. Talon Chalmers into the left corner. We'll get a shot taken over there. Going to be missed by Noah Gillette. Rebound by the Blue Devils. Let's
Mikey
see.
Selleck trying to dribble in. And it looks like Ari Camp is going to be called for the foul.
All right, I thought.
Yeah, again, Ari Camp, yep, he'll get that foul on the floor, though. It will not be a shooting foul. So coming into game for Proctor right now is Aaron Brock is back in the game, and coming out is Caden Dean. So that is the first foul on Ari Camp. Mikey Selleck, again, he pump fakes, tries to drive off the basket. Shot and rebound coming from Hayden Rice for Poultney. Doesn't get the shot to go down, but he does get the foul.
All right, Hayden Rice, one of the younger guys on the Poultney team, listed as a freshman playing his first varsity games here.
Cameron Camp will get the foul. That is the third for him.
Once again, this is all part of the Bob Abrahamson Tip-Off Classic at Bougiani Gymnasium, Proctor, Vermont.
So Rice misses the first shot. So again, to protect Cameron Camp and his three fouls, Coach Jeremy Cole taking him out of the lineup right now to kind of protect him. And second shot goes down for Hayden Rice. That is his first point of the game. Braden Sheehy with the ball right now. He has been red hot in the third quarter for Proctor. Three for Sheehy, rims out. And finally, Hayden Rice down with the rebound for Poultney as he hands it off to Talon Chalmers. And Chalmers, shots blocked, three-pointer shot, quick pass, and it looks like in for the layup, Mason Brothers. And for Brothers, that's the first 2 points of the game for him.
Nice little breakaway, nice read there, picking off that pass, and he's all alone at the other end of the floor in for that easy layup.
So the gap has now grown to 54-35, and again, here's Sheehy, the layup, and it's in. 12 points for Braden Sheehy in the third quarter, 15 on the game.
Definitely been a Proctor quarter here after that halftime break. Coming into this season, though, Proctor has been a much talked about team, no question. They're loaded with seniors, got a lot of experience.
Braden Sheehy with the foul. That's just his second on the game. So Poultney now bringing in some of their freshman players onto the court. Coming into the game, number 40, Liam Heyer, is in the game. Also, we see coming into the game, number 32, that is Jack Olinsky, is on the court. Heyer will now come back off. He may be taking the place of the shooter because that's 5 fouls on Proctor. So it looks like Noah Gillette will get the shots from the foul line for the Blue Devils. First shot by Gillette, nothing but cord. He gets the shot to go down.
Well, you got a mass wholesale substitution going out there on the floor right now. Both teams, lots of new players coming in there.
Again, the gap is 20 points, 56-36. Good time for the coach, Jeremy Cole, for Proctor to get some of his bench players in, give a breather to some of his starters. And Noah Gillette is going to be called for the foul, as that was a long rebound. He went up with Fernandez to get it. Fernandez knocked to the ground, the foul on Gillette. So coming into the game now for Poultney is Ari Lupien. So Lupien in the game for the Blue Devils now, as their coach, Justin Heyer, makes a number of big substitutions with the gap as big as it is right now. Brock with the ball for Proctor. In the game also for the Blue Devils right now is Jordan Weiss. Weiss in the game. Brock is also on the court. Long three for Brock, doesn't go. And over the back, that's going to be a foul on Sawyer Crossman for Proctor.
All right, that'll stop the clock with 1:47 left to go here in this third quarter.
So again, the foul on Sawyer Crossman is going to be a shooting foul for Proctor, rather for Poultney. They'll get 2 shots.
All right, so a few years ago, that 5-team foul limit, that's a double bonus situation after 5-team fouls.
Hate that rule. I like the 1-and-1, the way it used to be. I don't quite understand why they made this rule change, but that is the rule in high school basketball these days. Chalmers gets the first shot to go down. That's his 3rd point of the game. And will he get the second shot? Off the front of the rim, does not go down. And the rebound for Proctor by Jordan Weiss. So turnover for Proctor, back on offense. Chalmers for Poultney tries to drive to the basket, puts the ball off the rim, doesn't get it. Goes back, a turnaround, off the glass, off the rim, does not get it. And their center, Gabe Casey, took a shot to his right shoulder, and he's in visible pain. He heads to the bench. The referee's calling timeout. That's an injury timeout. Proctor will have the ball. 1:25 to go in the third quarter. Big lead, 56-37. Again, this game started with a quick start for Poultney, led 5-0, and then slowly but surely Proctor brought it even, and then they really stepped on the gas and have pulled away, 56-37.
All right, so we have Gabe Casey here on the bench there. Their big guy will be out, so noticeably much bigger lineup on the floor here for Proctor, height-wise. Some substitutions into the ball game for the Blue Devils.
Again, we pointed this out at the beginning of the game. 5 freshmen for Poultney, right? Only 3 seniors, 2 juniors, 5 freshmen. That will eventually show up. Again, your bench is not as deep. Proctor throwing a lot of bodies. They've got a deep bench, a talented bench, and we got a 3-pointer. That is going to be Brock, Aaron Brock. That is his first points of the game. He gets 3. Here's Chalmers, deep 3 for Poultney. Bangs off the rim, and it's going to be a foul, I believe, a reach-in on Ari Lupien for Poultney. It was number 30, his first foul of the game, and their 5th foul here in the third quarter, so it'll be Proctor going to the line and taking the shots. It is going to be Jordan Weiss.
I believe you pronounced that Wheezy.
That's right, Wheezy. You told me that. I got to get that right. Wheezy, Jordan Wheezy.
All right, so number 14, Wheezy on the line to shoot. And again, just a sophomore here on this Proctor team with under a minute left to go here in this third quarter.
Wheezy gets the first shot. It's now 60-37, a 23-point lead for the Phantoms of Proctor.
And it's been really a huge quarter here, this third quarter. We talked about how it was a good, close game there for the first half anyway, and then just broken wide open here in this third quarter.
Wheezy with the shot, it rims out. And wow. Cannot believe a foul was not called there. That was a mad scramble, but Poultney will have the ball. 47 seconds to go in this third quarter. And I'm not sure if a travel should have been called or a foul. Something should have been called on that play, I do believe.
All right, Poultney bringing it down the floor. Proctor backing off here on the full court pressure. There's a pass to the left sideline. Nobody there for it. Goes out of bounds.
Chalmers just sent it over the head of Lupien. Wasn't even close. Tried to make a no-look pass for whatever reason and was not even close with that.
Poultney
Wheezy back out to Jace Sheldrick. Sheldrick in the game. He bangs home a 3-pointer. His first 3 points of the game for Sheldrick.
All right, Poultney getting it inside, but as you see right there, the official calling a traveling violation, so that'll turnover. And a long third quarter here for the Blue Devils. All right, Poultney back waiting on defense. And Proctor now will bring it down over the half-court line.
Brock with another three-pointer. That's 2 for him in the third quarter. 6 points on the night for Aaron Brock, the senior forward for the Phantoms. Third quarter over, 66-37. Massive quarter. A massive quarter for Proctor. Only 7 points scored in that third quarter by Poultney. Just 7. Great defense from Proctor.
And Poultney over there at the respective sideline here trying to regroup a little bit. I don't know what you do about that. They just outgunned in that third quarter for sure. You're tallying up some of the Proctor side of things. I was looking to see if
31-7, Proctor outscored unofficially. 31-7 in that second quarter, the third quarter. I mean, again, they put the hammer down. You could tell that Coach Jeremy Cole was not happy with the intensity of his defense in the second half, and they came out in the third quarter and really clamped down on Poultney. And I also think Poultney was getting fatigued a little bit. Their leader, Eric Kendall, spent a lot of time on the bench that third quarter trying to, again, get a breather. They had to put him there. I mean, both ends of the court, Kendall was getting the job done until he simply ran out of gas.
And he's back in there, so he got a time to recover, regroup a little bit, get a breather there at the half, and certainly they're going to need him back in here for this fourth quarter, and there it is, Eric Kendall back in there for the Blue Devils.
And immediately he tries to drive. He'll get the foul again. It looks like Brock will get the foul. And Kendall, again, driving to the basket, did not get the hoop, but he did get the foul. And I think they might have called that foul on 14, Jordan Weezy.
All right, so we are in the fourth quarter.
No, they called it on Brock. Again, yeah, I thought it was his first foul. And Kendall does not get the shot. Score remains 66-32. A wild third quarter for Proctor as they put the hammer down on the Blue Devils. Kendall gets the shot, gets it to go. 24 points on the night for Eric Kendall. He has absolutely led the way on both ends of the court for the Blue Devils. A long three-pointer for Jace Seldrick. He hit one in the third period. He's back in the game. Kendall again driving. Ball off the rim, doesn't get it. Thought he was fouled. They did not give him the foul. A lot of contact when he went up. Chalmers with the steal. Three-pointer by Kendall. Oh, it in and out of the rim. Chalmers with the rebound, but he loses control. Fernandez now gets the ball for Proctor. To Brock. Brock with the three. It's good. 9 points for Aaron Brock. 3 threes for the senior forward for Proctor. Kendall, a step back three. Doesn't get it. Again, Proctor has the ball stolen away. Jay Seldrick got the rebound, but Chalmers got the ball back. And it looks like that's going to be a foul on the floor. Sawyer Crosman, I believe. Indeed, he'll be called for that infraction, and that is his third foul. 6:43 to go here in the fourth and final quarter. Proctor has pulled away, leading 69-38.
All right, inbounded at the baseline, non-shooting foul. Poultney Blue Devils trying to find an answer here to what they're running into in the second half. It's Kendall shot up, drives to inside, put up a shot, got fouled. Eric Kendall taking it right back to the basket, will be on the line to shoot.
So that foul is going to be on Sawyer Crosman, and that is his fourth foul. And again, Kendall very effective getting to the rim, cannot get a lot of these shots to go down. And the first foul shot doesn't go in. Kendall's had an outstanding game, I think, as the season goes on. I think his shooting percentages are going to go up. He's not going to miss some of these layups. He does get the second shot. 25 now for Eric Kendall as he has led the way both ends of the court for Poultney. Kendall, the senior guard,
All right, and another guy that's had a good night. We mentioned about a bunch of three-pointers he hit in the early going. That was Fernandez for Proctor.
Yeah, he hit 4 threes in the first half, has not scored here in the second half, has not, to be fair, spent a lot of time out on the court, so he is back in the game. And that foul, by the way, is going to be on number 22, Noah Gillette, and on the line for Proctor, Jordan Weezy. So after calling him by the wrong name for half the game, we'll try to get it right for the second half of the game. Sorry about that, Jordan. I'm a newbie. This is my first basketball game in like 40 years.
Aaron Brock out there for Proctor. Also Sawyer Crossman on the court. Got number 3 walking around, Jay Sheldrick.
So Weezy gets 1 to go. Score now 70-39. 6:20 to go in the fourth and final quarter. Chalmers tries to drive in, can't get it. Gillette now will try to let it go from long distance. Doesn't get the 3 to go down. Brock tried to get the rebound and the steal. It goes off him and out of bounds. And so, again, the Blue Devils go back on offense, and back to Kendall it goes. He's going to try to drive the basket, as he has been. The shot up and in. 27 points now for Eric Kendall.
Nicely done. He was bumped into right there. No foul on the play, no call, but he was a little
He kind of created that contact, kind of threw a shoulder in there, hoping for a foul.
And there is a big 3 right there. That'd be Crosman, Sawyer Crosman.
Sawyer Crosman, that's his first 3-pointer in the second half, has 6 points on the game. Kendall again, the drive, and in. He'll get the foul, go to the line to try to make it a 3-point play. So that foul is going to be on Brock, his second. 27 points now for Eric Kendall. 27 out of 43 points scored for Poultney. No matter where Poultney goes this season, Eric Kendall is going to be pulling the train all season long. Outstanding player from the point guard position. He gets it to go. 28 points now on the game.
Well, as you said, you make your adjustments, learn a lot from every situation. Poultney learning a lot here tonight.
Part of the problem is the fact that, Kendall has to work so hard on the defensive end, doesn't leave as much energy for the offensive end. So, again, ball bouncing around, rebound to Chalmers. Chalmers racing down the court, looks to Kendall. Kendall for the 3, got it. 3 points for Kendall. Unofficially now, that is 30 points on the game for Eric Kendall.
All right, Proctor with it at their end of the floor, approaching 5 minutes left to go in this contest. So Proctor looking like they're on the way to the championship bracket, at least to this moment.
I don't think there's any way Poultney can come back. They don't have the bench. They don't have a real spark off the bench to kind of match up with Proctor, and I really think the depth finally showed up. I mean, Poultney, there's no quit in this team. They certainly are trying to fight their way through this best they can, and a travel on Chalmers instead of got caught kind of in the middle, like, do I want to drive, do I want to shoot, and shuffled his feet.
And Poultney and the Proctor team will face tomorrow night, 78 Twinfield team won.
Twinfield Cabot, the Trojans beating Twin Valley earlier, 78-57.
So as we said, still 5 minutes left to go in this game. Be a huge turnaround for Poultney to get back into this.
Yeah.
Proctor dominating here, top of the circle, shot taken.
And here is a 3-pointer off the rim. That was Mason Brothers, didn't get it. Here's Ari Camp, he goes up. And I believe that was a 3-pointer for Ari Camp. So Camp now, 14 points for Ari Camp for Proctor.
All right, we are down to, 4.5 minutes, just under that left to go here in this contest.
I'll tell you one thing, Greg, after watching the first game in Twinfield Cabot against Proctor, that's going to be a great championship game. They had a lot of firepower as well. Mikey Selleck with a long 3, doesn't go on. Phantoms quickly back, pushing the ball up court. Camp now to start to drive in. He'll pass back out, and then it is going to be Mason Brothers. Pump fake, goes and gets the layup, 2 points for him.
All right, makes it a 30-point advantage here for Proctor.
Eric Kendall, high bounce off the top of the basket.
Taking the three.
That should have been a dead ball. The ball was off the top of the backboard, but it would have been Proctor's ball anyways. Camp drives in, passes it off to Griffin Pomeroy. Pomeroy in the game for the first time for the Phantoms. Again, as the coach kind of empties the bench. This is a good opening game for them. You get a big lead, you get some guys on the bench that might not get a lot of playing time in some tighter games later on in the season. Get them some playing time now. Also looks like coming into the game now, Camden Scooby Kimball is going to be in the game here shortly for Proctor.
All right, Griffin Pomeroy on the line to shoot a couple here for the Proctor Phantoms with 3:38 left to go in our contest.
So coming back into the game, Braden Sheehy, and again making his first appearance in the game, Camden Scooby Kimball for Proctor, as Caden Dean comes out of the game. Pomeroy gets the second shot to go. 78-47, a 31-point gap. Here's Mikey Selleck, long three. He gets it.
Going to be needing a lot of those here for Poultney.
That is the first 3 points for Selleck in the ball game. Ari Camp with the drive, pull-up jumper, doesn't go. Selleck will get the rebound, pushing it down the court to Kendall, bounces off of him, back to Gillette. Gillette tries a runner, doesn't go. Gillette with his own rebound. He's stuck in there, and that's going to be now Ari Camp trying to drive the basket. He'll get the shot, and he'll get the foul. Selleck has hacked the arm of Ari Camp. Basket will count.
So Ari Camp is going to be going back to the free throw line here to shoot a couple, or actually shoot one actually. Keeps that lead as a 30-point advantage Proctor.
16 points unofficially now for Ari Camp, and fails to make it 17 though. Quick rebound by Sheehy. Ball in and out. Kendall again making a big drive down the court, loses control, passes it back out to Chalmers. Chalmers, the shot doesn't go, barely off the front of the rim. Sheehy down to Brothers, back to Camp, back to Sheehy. Doesn't get it. Sheehy gets a second shot at it, misses that one as well. And Chalmers with a very lackadaisical pass. You had Kendall on the breakaway if they just made a pass. Kimball loses the ball for Proctor. Chalmers will bring the ball back up for Poultney. Chalmers over to Kendall. Kendall will try to drive again to the basket. A runner, doesn't go, but he does get the foul again. Very effective with that. He's a tough guy to guard when he puts his head down and heads for the basket. So the foul is going to be on number 12, Braden Sheehy. That is his third on the game with 2:10 to go in the fourth quarter.
All right, so the guy with the ball in his hand the most for Poultney tonight, Eric Kendall. Back on the free throw line for two.
Again, I have him unofficially with 30 points. That's 30 of the 50 scored by Poultney.
All right, number 40, Liam Heyer into the ball game, I believe for the first time here tonight. One of the substitutions coming in. Hayden Rice back in there. So Coach Heyer making some substitutions on the Poultney side.
And it looks like 1 of 2 for Eric Kendall. 31 points unofficially. Chalmers blocks the ball out of bounds as Lucas Cole tried to make a skip pass across the court, didn't get it. Now inbounds it to Sheehy. Sheehy looking around for somebody to pass it to. He turns it over to Cameron Camp, doesn't get it. Sheehy back to Pomeroy. Pomeroy back to Lucas Cole, doesn't get the shot. Kendall is on the drive. And Scooby Kimball wound up being a roadblock that got run over there. That's a foul on Kimball. And Kendall, after being fouled by Kimball, is on the line. Around the rim and out for Kendall. He has scored a lot of points tonight. Shooting percentage probably isn't all that great. But again, he has to play so hard on both ends of the court. He is carrying this team offensively and defensively. Misses the second shot. They're calling a lane violation. So it looks like Heyer jumped into the lane just a little bit too quick. So that is a lane violation. Kendall comes out of the game with unofficially 31 points. Outstanding player. This kid is an outstanding player on both ends of the court. And against a team without the depth of Proctor, he's going to do even more damage throughout the season. But Proctor has so many good defensive players on the bench. They've got such great depth that they simply wore Poultney down.
Well, Proctor
wore their starters down. And again, they have 5 freshmen in a 10-person roster, 10-man roster. Half of those are freshmen. So certainly Poultney is reloading their starters. Chalmers, long 3. He gets it. That is his 6th point on the night. So while they were fresh and able to kind of stay with Proctor through the first 2 quarters, I think the fact that they wore down the top 5 for Poultney really started to show up, and it came in a big way in that 3rd quarter.
Well, Proctor, as we said, one of the teams that's very highly regarded coming into this season.
Chalmers, long 3, doesn't get it.
And they're showing
He has the rebound. Will he go in? No, he'll pass the ball off. A great layup right there. Cameron Camp finishes it off, his 10th point of the night.
All right, under a half minute left to go here in this contest at Buggiani Gymnasium in Proctor.
Lucas Cole will get the foul there. Good head fake from Hayden Rice, got him in the air, and as Rice then tried to drive by, Cole came down on top of him. They're going to call it a 2-shot. Oh, now they're at 6 fouls, so now they're in the bonus. That's be 2 shots for Hayden Rice.
All right, and that'll stop our clock with 23 seconds left to go here. Night number 1 of the Bob Abrahamson tournament at Buggiani Gymnasium in Proctor, Vermont.
Rice misses the first. Rice misses the second as well. Rebound by Sheehy. Up the court to Cole. Sheehy pump fakes. Hands it off to Pomeroy. Pomeroy off the glass. He'll get the basket. So that is the 3rd point for Griffin Pomeroy.
All right, under 10 seconds left to go. This will be our final possession. Probably there's a shot. Chalmers.
Pomeroy gets the rebound.
And
84 to 54 is going to be the final score. Proctor rolls over the Poultney Blue Devils. The Blue Devils kept it close for a couple of quarters, and Proctor blows it open in the second half.
All right, celebration here on the Proctor sideline. That kind of sets things up for tomorrow night. We know who will be in our championship and our consolation games as both teams shake hands here at the sideline just in front of us. We'll watch a little bit of that. We got a final wrap-up coming up. But a well-played contest here tonight here for the Proctor team, the host team in this tournament, trying to take home the championship trophy of their own tournament, the Bob Abrahamson Tip-Off Classic here at Proctor High School. All right, wrapping things up. Big win here for Proctor. They go to the championship of their own tournament. Mark Garrow, a good night for the fan, especially in the 3rd quarter, which really made the difference in this contest.
34 to 10. I mean, they put the hammer down, full throttle on defense. They started out with a bit of a press. Poultney couldn't break it. I think Poultney just ran out of gas. Their first 5 starters, they hung in there in the second half. And Eric Kendall, again, outstanding effort, but I think he has to work so hard both ends of the court. They finally had to take him out in the 3rd quarter, give him a real chance to try to catch his breath. And as soon as he came off the court, Proctor took full advantage of it.
All right, I'm showing you the scoreboard here. That's our final score here once again. Individually, some great performances we saw tonight on the Proctor side of things.
Absolutely. Very balanced scoring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11 different players for Proctor scored. Again, they're going to do a lot of damage this year with that depth. They can throw a lot of good players out there and just keep rotating in, keeping their legs, keeping the pressure on the other teams. And again, if they don't have a deep bench, eventually they'll bend and then they'll break. And that's what happened to Poultney tonight. But leading the scoring for Proctor, 15 points for Eric Camp, also 15 points for Braden Sheehy, then 12 points for Isaiah Hernandez. Then as we look at the rest of the scoring, Aaron Brock had 9, Mason Brothers had 4, Jace Seldrick had 3, 10 for Cameron Camp, 5 for Caden Dean, 2 for Jordan Weezy, 3 for Griffin Pomeroy, and 6 for Sawyer Crosman. For Poultney, again, you look at the final score, they've scored 34 points. 34 of those belong to Eric Kendall. And if Kendall had hit some of the layups early on that he had after he had 3 early steals, 3 layups, didn't go in, this is a game where he could have scored easily over 40, maybe even 50 points. This is a very, very good player that's going to be putting up some big points this year. He scores 34 points. He, of course, the senior guard for the Blue Devils. 6 points for Mikey Selleck, 6 points for Talon Chalmers, 1 point for Hayden Rice, 4 for Noah Gillette, and their big man, Gabe Casey, winds up with 3. But as you talked about, Greg, all about the third quarter, 34-10. Really close first half, second half blown wide open in that third quarter as Proctor just pulled away and never looked back.
All right, and that sets up tomorrow night. The consolation game will be the Poultney Blue Devils
against Twin Valley. They lost to Twinfield Cabot, the Trojans, 78-57. And when I looked at that game, when you look at Twinfield Cabot, this is going to be a great game with Proctor because Cabot has a deep bench too. So these two teams, I believe, are going to be high energy. I think they're going to press a lot. They're going to try to push each other because they have the bench to do it, to keep throwing those fresh bodies out there, to keep the defensive pressure on. It'll be a very, very good game. All
right, Mark Arrow, thank you very much for being a part of this production on PEGTV. It was a fun night here, fun to get back together with you. Proctor winning at 84-54 over Poultney.
It seems like old times, but I think the last game we did together was over 4 decades ago, so it's just kind of crazy. It feels like yesterday, but it was over 40 years ago. It's pretty crazy.
All right, well, thanks again. And
I loved it, by the way. I had a blast.
All right, and final score again was Proctor 84, Poultney 54. That'll do it from night number 1 of the Bougiani Gymnasium Bob Abrahamson Tip-Off Classic. Again, thank you, Mark Garrow, and have a good night, everybody. Thanks for watching.